Hey, everybody! Welcome to Tavern Talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Hail,
Dungeons and
hail.
Dragons.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, hail, hail! The gang's all here. We were not on 2 weeks ago. Um, just didn't have enough people, and uh, others weren't feeling it, so we decided to skip.
Hey, sometimes we got shit to do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't get paid for this, so it's real life happens. But on that note, we've played some D&D.
Yes, we have.
A little bit.
A little bit, and we've had a good time. And you guys have done quite a bit since the last time we actually got on here and talked.
Yeah. Yes.
You
Yes.
you got into the Tower of Magic. You found the staff that you were looking for, and you faced off against the villain
Who got away again?
Again.
Hey,
Son of a bitch.
that's only the first time he's gotten away from me.
Yeah.
40 years.
I'm going to take the Sentinel feat to avoid this. I'm so mad.
Which it's funny. I'm still behind on getting all the videos up. I just realized today how many I've got to get up.
Please ignore the commentary in the background.
So I got 2 episodes of Tavern Knights now to get up. I've got the last two actually. I just edited the one from 2 weeks ago today, and due to some of the things that were said in the show, I actually I named this one "Call Your Shot" because of Renee calling the nat 20.
Right, yes.
Not for the first time.
No.
saying you're gonna get a natural 20 right here, and you freaking did.
Sure enough.
Yep.
Sure enough. Yeah. That was like I was mentioning. I wish I kept my cool a little bit more so in that moment.
It'll be interesting to see what happened to our side of the table.
Yeah,
It looked like
You
a
jumped
goddamn
up
earthquake.
screaming and banging on the camera.
yeah.
We blew
I
out the
watched it
mic.
today. I watched it today, and yeah, the hand goes up, and you see Pete do this, and all of a sudden the camera just goes whoa.
Yeah.
And you
That
guys
was
on the other
exciting,
side
though.
of the table
We
just
were-
go
was.
blurry.
We were
For, like,
losing
3
that
seconds.
battle
We so
badly.
were, and
I
we.
don't know about losing it. We were definitely. It was having it. We were at
Klimbrum
risk.
was running away.
Yeah.
Klimbrum was the only one who had any chance of outrunning whatever that cloud was, that spell.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she didn't make it out
No.
all the way.
Well,
that was with a double speed,
Yeah.
I think.
if that spell had gone up, we would have been real fucked. Honestly, if that spell had gone up, I mean, trust.
Well, it did go off. It just didn't
Well,
last very long.
It didn't last. If Euchariah was definitely Euchariah and Octavian were the MVPs of that particular battle, because between that dispel magic and then Euchariah's
Steel wind strike.
jumpy, teleporty kind of super. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you spell.
Let's see.
That was something.
halfling hopping groin stab. That's what we're gonna call that one.
Yeah, that was.
I'm thinking like a combination of Nightcrawler and Yoda
There you go.
in
That's
the
a great
second-
combination. Yes.
in the
I like
second
that
Star Wars
combination.
prequel, just jumping around with a lightsaber, basically,
Yes.
and then,
Yep.
So
That's exactly why I wanted to take that spell.
Trust me. I
Spell
looked
is
at that spell
awesome, man.
long and hard for, do I really want a multi-class out of Ranger? Oh, but that spell. Spell.
Yeah, but you can't get it until like your 16 or 17th level.
17th level, and then at 20th level, I will be able to cast it twice.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's a long
17th
time to
level?
wait.
That just wasn't worth it.
It's a 5th
Yeah.
level spell.
Yeah.
It would just take a long time for you to be able
And
to
so-
get that.
what level spell?
5th.
5th level.
Fifth level. Oh yeah, I'm gonna feel you, man. And as a paladin, I got some pretty sweet ass spells, but a lot of them I can't. I mean, the most powerful ones don't really come to me until, until I hit those much higher levels. Shit,
And then you
once
got to
I-
pick and choose. You
when
got to be
I-
like,
yeah.
okay, I will learn this one.
And that's the other thing too. Like, because my spells, see, I think this is one of those things that really kind of ticks me off. I wish that my spells or my smites were not tied into my spell slots. I wish I had something like key points, kind of like what a monk
Like
has.
what I have.
Yeah,
But
to
then-
tie
but-
into the smites.
But then you would be a cleric. That's why.
Perchance,
That's
yeah.
why you don't.
Mm-hmm. I know, but yeah, I've had some really awesome spells. But if I want to cast them, that's less smites I'm going to be able to do.
Yep.
And so it's that trade-off. I've got that
It-
really good. I've got that really good healing spell that I could cast, but it's a 3rd level spell. It's a 3rd level. I only have 2 3rd level spells right now too per day.
Mhm.
So, I think I can use. I've got that Pearl of Power. I think I can use it for a 3rd level spell.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can. You can
Once
you
a
can
day you
recover
get
a third
back.
level
I can
spell.
recover up to a 3rd level spell.
Yeah, that's why I think that we gave that to you, so that
Yeah.
way it gave you that 3rd level spell slot, for every single day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think it only takes an action to essentially get it back. You don't have to wait for like a long rest or anything.
No, I think I just blink,
Yeah.
whatever, it activated.
Say the command word.
Yeah,
Follow it.
swallow it.
And then you got to wait for a long rest to get it
Yep.
back.
Get it
You
back.
gotta wait for it to pass, and then you use it the next day. You got.
How big is that Pearl of Power, man? I don't know if I want to.
Did you clean it off really well?
Yeah, if it's the size of a golf ball, I'm not swallowing that thing.
Ah,
Yikes.
fine.
You can insert it a different way if you want to.
Only if it's pointed at the end. Only it's got to be. It can't be a Pearl of Power. Can't be a pearl of power anymore.
It's a plug of power.
It's a plug of power. Chris beat me to it. You beat me to it. Fuck. All right.
Yes.
But you guys have been doing great. That battle was supposed to be tough, and I think that it was.
It was.
Yep.
Because you had actually had a rest before you actually went back down there and
We
took
did
them on.
insurance, Yeah.
So
Well, first, we went one direction, and fought a Freet, was it?
yeah, and some of
And,
those
like,
giants.
That were like working the forges.
Hmm.
That got away. that thing bamped out on us. But then after that, we were a little sore after that, so we took the short rest before kind of doubling back, and then all of a sudden, it was. I don't think any of us were prepared that we were about to go into the boss battle at that point. Who we were looking for so quickly and suddenly. And it kind of started off really challenging with what was it? Karis that was immediately kind of overtaken by the music of the statue.
I got.
No, it wasn't the
No.
statue.
It wasn't a statue. Mm-mm.
Oh.
Wasn't it? No.
It was
I
a-
made my save. Carrots got paralyzed by
I
poison.
got paralyzed. Yeah.
It wasn't by poison. It was a spell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
It wasn't the statue. It was.
Oh.
It actually came from the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I
It's
guess
those fucking drow, man. They're
Mhm.
all spell slingers or whatever, or spell swords or whatever. I mean, they were badass.
Except the one that shot at me.
Yeah.
No, he was actually a shadow blade, and so I had a choice. And had I thought about it, I mean, he didn't know you were a monk, so it made sense.
No.
But he was cocky, and so that's why he only did a. He
Oh,
only
that's
did,
right. He was like specifically the cocky one you were
Yeah.
talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. The cocky one.
He definitely had an air of you were all beneath him, and that's why he only did 2 sword attacks on you, and then decided to shoot you with his crossbow instead with his third one, because he could have hit you with another sword attack.
Yeah. Which would have been bad.
Yes. Those swords were nasty, man. They were
Yeah.
like 20, between like 18 to 30 fucking points of damage, man.
Well,
Yeah.
his was particularly nasty because of the type of creature he is.
Yeah,
Mm.
one more hit, he probably
other-
would have taken me out. I went down to 31 points, and he was dealing 34 to 36.
Yeah, the other guys were not
Nasty.
quite as nasty.
Excuse me.
That was still a great moment when
Nasty
you're able to like
enough.
essentially you see the arrow whizzing by, you catch it, and then you.
And I fling it back, and I
And
actually
he missed his save against poison and fell asleep from
I
his
know
own
how he
poison.
feels. I so know how he felt.
And the big bad Varix actually just said wake up and shot one of his eldritch blasts at him to wake him up, and then fired the other two off at you guys.
But wait, didn't you like crit against him with that?
No,
Oh, I thought you did for some reason.
no, he just hit him.
Yeah.
Oh. Or you did max damage. There was something I thought that.
I
yeah,
did-
like
I did a
he
lot.
hurt him particularly badly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you said he did crit. I remember that.
I don't think so.
Like that.
I
I'll have to
don't
go back
know.
and watch it, but I knew
Yeah.
that you hit him pretty hard. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Hit the motherfucker pretty hard.
But yeah, so that was a hell of a fight, and that's where you guys are going to be picking up this week, this Friday, 7:30.
Right after that fight.
Yep, Eastern time. You will be picking up right after that fight. You haven't looted any of the bodies. You haven't looked at anything that's in the room. The statue's still singing because the
Reasons. Because it's pretty.
well, and one of the things that so talking with Rich, Pete, and I got together Saturday night and played some Magic, and we were talking D&D as happens. And
Like you do.
Rich, who will not be able to make it this week, said that the one thing that he does want to do, if there's time, is he planned to cast tongues on Euchariah so that he can hear what the fuck the statue's singing.
Mm.
That was the one thing he said. So
That's
I'm putting that
smart.
out there for you guys so that you remember for Friday. If you,
Yep, I made a note of that as well. That was one of the things that he definitely wanted to do.
Oakley dokley.
because none of you understand the whatever it is that the statue's singing. It just sounds like gibberish.
Right.
Mhm. Do we know what language it's in?
Nope, because none of you understand it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if we were able to identify it or not.
Nope. And then so the bad guy gets away through a secret door. So you know there's a secret door there. You just gotta
You
find
watched it
the.
happen.
You're gonna have to look for the trigger mechanism, and actually get through it. So that'll be a little bit. It's if you want to go that way, or you can go back around to the forge where you had two doors that you hadn't explored either.
Yeah, there's still a little bit more, I think, on that floor that we needed to get, or nearby anyway, that we needed to explore. So
Oh,
there's stuff to
so-
do still.
we were going to go like downstairs, and then we ended up doubling back to take a short rest, and we decided to go the other hallway, which I
Yeah.
think we all expected to just be like a mirror image, and then it wasn't.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep. Because we had just gotten done with that Ifrit fight.
Mm-hmm.
Got
So,
my freak.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I want to see where you guys are gonna go from here. That's what I want to. That's what I'm looking forward to, because you guys are at a point where you've got some decisions to make.
Decisions.
And now, if we jump back in time a little more, and go back to the previous game, when you found the staff, you found another statue of Bakab with its hands like tented out with its fingers together, kind of like this. And Euchariah saw a word on one of the hands and said it and disappeared.
Right.
And a staff appeared in his place.
Right.
Yep.
We got-
you took a moment
I
to
got
identify it.
the knife. I got the nut.
Well, and then nobody knew where Euchariah was, so someone else said the word. I think it was Grimbolt said the word. and he disappeared, and Yukaraya's limp body collapsed on the floor.
Right.
Yeah, damn near dead body.
I was in there for what? Couple
Long
minutes.
enough.
A couple minutes, yeah.
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 Long enough to pass out.
And
Chris
then
was,
everyone
texting
realized,
me
oh
asking my
shit.
Constitution modifier. I'm guessing for how long I can hold my breath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's like, oh shit. And so then you guys started taking turns saying the word and jumping in and out. Mostly Klimbrum and Grimbolt kept bouncing back and forth in and out of the.
I wasn't going to punch a statue.
And then,
Ow.
well, and then,
Finally, Marikaris got to a point. I mean, we tried a whole bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
and we kept swapping people in and out, and because we needed to keep the staff. Finally, Marikaris got just fed up and started beating on the fucking thing. The problem with my sledgehammer, my warhammer, the problem was the dumb thing that I was doing is that even that Marikaris can attack twice a round, he didn't do that, and so. Eventually, when Grimbold got he stepped up to the plate
When I
there,
tagged in,
you tagged in. You were actually going, oh, I can attack twice.
Well,
I'm like,
and-
what the fuck?
Alexandra had the best line in that too, that he went all blinking on it.
All blinking on him, yeah. That was funny. For those of you who don't catch that reference, that's from Men in Tights, from when
Yep.
Lincoln was attacking the
wood post.
Tree.
The wood post.
Yeah.
But I think the way that you were attacking it, it must have had like 200, 300 HP or something like that, or like how much that you had to do it.
No, so what
No,
it
they-
is
Yeah.
inanimate objects, at least in the old session, and I like this idea, so they don't have it in 5th edition, but I've kind of instituted it in. They don't, and especially certain magical items, they're not going to just have an armor class for you to try and hit it, and then you do so much damage. They have also what's called a hardness value.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, if it has, like, a hardness of 5, that means the first 5 points of damage that you do to it don't count as any damage. It's
Oh.
only, you have to beat the hardness. And it's only the damage you do beyond the hardness
Okay.
that you're
Yeah.
actually doing to it.
So if you do 6 damage, hardness of 5, you only did 1.
1 point of actual damage.
Correct. You are correct, sir.
So it would take that much longer.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. But that's not in 5th edition. But that's something. That
No,
you
it's not, but it's something that I've always liked
Makes
about
Yeah, it makes
a
sense.
way to do inanimate objects, because it's like, well, how hard is it to break down the door? Well, the door's got 30 hit points and a hardness value of 3 because it's wood.
Mm-hmm.
So you start beating on it, and once it hits 30, it's broken down completely.
So is there already established values of hardness depending on if it's like wood, stone, brick?
There was back in the day. Now this one I actually pulled right out of the module, so it may not be something I use all the time, but because this was right out of that module and it was built on 3rd edition rules, I decided to keep it in and use it because I'm like, you know what, this is a really powerful magic item, and it should be hard to destroy it. So I mean, it actually had. I can tell
And
you
it
guys.
was.
Yeah. What's that?
And it was.
Yeah. It had 40 hit points and a hardness value of 8.
Okay.
Which makes sense. It's
Sucked.
stone.
It's magical stone at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it took us a while to beat the hell out of it, and figure out, and eventually disable it so that whoever was in the statue at the time popped out.
No, actually, you broke the statue apart and Klimbrum.
Oh, did we break it
Yeah.
apart?
Yep.
Yeah, but then we came back, and
And
it was
it was
reassembled.
Yes.
Yes,
We
the
passed
the
by
next
it
day.
again. Yeah. And it had
Yeah,
reassembled.
you had
itself.
taken a long rest. You came back the next day and it was reassembled.
Mhm. So, damn it. I wanted it to be wrecked, but that's okay. We'll wreck it next time. Maybe.
No, we'll leave it so Varric wastes his time on it.
Right, yeah. Because we don't want him to know for sure that we have the thingy.
He has no idea that we have it, nor should he.
Correct. But we still gotta find the asshole now. because he escaped us
Again.
again.
Just once.
You also found a what looked like a drow succubus down
Oh,
there
that's right.
that said she was an elf
Oh,
princess.
she was pissed. She was
Yeah.
pissed because
She
we
didn't
told her, we were like, sister, we can't. We got other shit to do. We can't just
We'll be
go
right
back to
back."
town. Come
Yeah.
all the way back.
She was asking. There's only one particular like spell that essentially could free her,
Hmm.
but it was a very high level casting spell that was well beyond any of our capabilities.
Correct.
So we'd had to go find this spell, like, and purchase the scroll of it if there was anything available. Come back, cast it, and not only that, cast it successfully. No
Right.
guarantee that
Right.
it would, and then, yeah, she wasn't appreciating us grilling for like history lesson of who is
Like where she was from and shit. Yeah.
yeah. Who's it?
Because none of us believed her.
Well, she was from my part of town, you know, or part of the world. She was from America. Harrison's part of the world. And I mean, Chris, I can't remember. Was she able to answer some of our questions about
Yeah.
that?
I think she answered everything.
Yeah, she answered all of them.
She answered them.
Yeah.
So
All of them were answered correctly to the best of Karis's knowledge, right?
mhm.
So,
I
but
think that is correct. Yes. It's still sus, as the kids say.
well, I mean, the moment we turned our backs, we were.
Dude, yeah, she threw a hissy fit. She like launched fucking, Eldritch blasts at, I think, at Halt or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Threw a fit, man. I'm like, sorry, we'll see you in a little bit. We'll come back for you. Because, yeah, I mean, well, Karis, of course, I mean, being a paladin, he's gonna be suspicious of something like that. I mean, that's just, it's just a little much, really. And, so, I mean, she didn't, I was gonna cast Zone of Truth, but I didn't get around to it. I was like, by the time we, after a while, it was just kind of like, nah, it just seems like a waste of time now. Because she'd passed several, like, insight checks, and we had questioned her for a while, and it's just like,
Something still seemed off with it.
Yeah. It did.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't have Phelan with us because we know how that would have gone down.
Yeah.
In Phelan's defense, that other succubus, we definitely threw him in there with her.
We did. We
So
did.
we would have
We-
needed some lesser restorations to cure the whatever diseases he would have picked up.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what's really funny was the last time they threw him in a room with the woman turned out to be a succubus,
Yeah.
and they had thrown him in a room, and he's like yelling, guys, help, guys!
Help!
Yeah, we're all like, oh, he's having fun.
Yeah, we're like,
Oh.
go get some.
Yeah.
And yep, succubus.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't think I was actually there. I think that happened on a night that I actually wasn't there.
Mhm.
That was
Right.
the
You guys-
Orcus. That was when we found the Temple of Orcus.
Well, I know I was there for the fight, for the Orcus fight, but there was something. Maybe I was there, and I don't know. It just seems like I'm missing something. But yeah, he totally got shoved. He basically got beckoned into the room, and we went, "Hey, yeah, go ahead."
Yep.
It was funny.
Back when we were still playing online.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Different times back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pandemic times. So
Yep.
yeah. So I am really looking forward to seeing what you guys do this week. I think it's going to be a good time. Got any ideas you want to share with where you want to go and what you want to do?
Well, I think that right now we're probably going to keep on going after Varix if I have to, because to the best of our knowledge, he still has Phelan and Lauka, which is
Yeah.
what we decided to do is the fact that we are going after them versus bringing the staff all the way back to Phandalin. That we're trying to save them since we know that they
Yeah, we're trying to save our friends.
they're captured. So I think we're going to continue on with that before continuing on with the the staff and moving on. I think that would be what we're going to be pursuing, whether or not he has them or not. I think that everything that has Octavian's done a lot in terms of scrying and asking his I forgot what spell that he casts, like commune or
Yeah, it's commune.
so everything seems to be pointing at us that this is the direction that we need to go in order to get to our friends. So
Chances say hi. I just keep
Yeah, he
picturing his magic 8
Yeah.
ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's shaped like a sun though for him.
Mhm.
It just looks like a sun.
will we be starting Friday at level 10?
No.
Damn it.
Nice try.
That was a nice try.
Well, after
yeah.
that last battle, maybe.
No, you're still in the dungeon.
It
So
was it was only some drow. They're good guys now.
Stop. Sound like an old man.
I am an old man.
We
Well, you are
also fought the Ifrit, and we fought the high level like Varix, who I swear since the last time we fought him, he must have just been like pumping through killing dragons since the last time we fought him to bump up his level.
The path of evil is a much easier trod one, my friend.
I felt like that was a very different battle than the last time, where he
Yep.
just farted away.
Yep. And he took a potion to do that.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
I don't remember what level we were when we first fought him. So we're at 9 now. I think that was.
I think we were only at,
back in level
4.
5. 4 or 5, I think, back then. But
It was the kobold caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of
Kobold
spells?
Cave. The last time we almost got a fucking I don't know, it was not exactly TPK, but it was the last time we really.
It was going to be a party. It was going to be friendly fire, though.
Yeah.
Friendly fire kill.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it was because Lauka
Sydney.
Lauka was Sydney was drunk
And
Yeah,
tired.
And tired.
And
She was
tired.
she was napping between turns because
Yeah.
Yeah.
we had gone late that night.
Sleepy.
oh yeah,
and
that was 1
buzzed.
a.m. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was sleepy
Yeah,
and
that fight
buzzed.
didn't end till close to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
what a blast!
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Bob?
I just was curious to know if he was casting Eldritch Blast back at level 4, or if that's something new, as far as the party knows.
I don't recall him
He-
really getting any shots off.
He did.
I remember them being fire bolts.
Nope. They were
No.
Eldritch Blasts.
Were they?
Okay.
Okay.
They were the same black and purple energy that he was sending out this time.
Okay. Yeah, because I had bound them up pretty.
But it was
Pretty
only
quick.
2. It was only 2 bolts at the time.
Yeah.
Like I
I
said,
put the Iron Bands of Bolero on him, and then he ghosted out of them.
the path of evil is much more easily trod. My goodness.
Yeah. He's hit his milestones. He's good. Next time you fight him, he's gonna be level 20.
Oof.
I remember when I was in the group. I was in my D&D group when I was in high school, and my dungeon master was 8 years older than me and my buddy. So it was his mom's boyfriend, and they were. He was running this really great game. I mean, it's just an amazing dungeon master. He still is. He still DMs. I still talk to him. And but we did this great storyline where we went back in time and to 100 years in the past, and we accidentally changed our future. We changed our present, and when we did that, we went back to the current time. One of the party members that we had in our party did not go back in time with us. One of the player took a different character that he had been playing. So we go back to the current day, And that paladin, Valinor, that didn't come back in time with us, was now an anti-paladin and was butt nasty. He was at least 5 levels higher than what he had been before. And we were like, well, how the fuck did that happen? And then he's like, and the dungeon
That's
master,
cool.
the dungeon master was like, the path of evil is much more easily trod. So he was much higher. He was like a 15th or 16th level anti-paladin instead of a 12th level. And him and his cohorts were kicking our ass. So we had to, and we were decent level too. You know, like I said, we were like 12th, 13th level at that point. And so what we had to do is the dungeon master had us. We had to act collectively as the memory, basically, of one of the other people to kind of try and figure out what did we do that screwed up the timeline. And then one of the other, while we were fighting Valinor and his buddies and they're kicking our butts, the one of the mages is able to go back in time again and try and tweak the timeline back real quick. And it was really cool because
really?
he did that, but then we all had to roll saves to see if our characters changed from the paradox being shifted back again. And I missed my save by 1.
The TVA went back. The TVA went back in time and wiped out that timeline. And
yeah. And then because we went back, because we were back in in the main timeline, when he shifted the timeline back, we had, like I said, we had to roll a save, and we were playing 2nd edition back then, and so we had, I think it was roll or save versus spell, and like I said, I missed my save, but I only missed it by 1. So instead of like a massive change to my character, it was a minor change. He went from a cleric of the god of anarchy to being a cleric of the goddess of cold. So, which was cool because we had 2 clerics of anarchy. So, so I got to be a slightly different cleric, and and that was Calidor. If that was the first time I named a D&D character Calidor, which is a name I've used a lot in my.
Curious, was this at the height of the Back to the Future franchise?
It was in like 1990, so it was right around.
Yep.
It was right.
So
it was right around when they were
making of like where you're like doing like where you're shifting what happens in the back, and then that's like affecting the current timeline. So
it was right around
Back to the Future references there.
Yeah,
it's
it was
cool
right
stuff.
around when they made the sequels, because Back to the Future came out in '85.
Yeah.
And then they finally made 2 and 3, and I think came out in 90.
2 years later than like there.
90 and 91. So yeah, so it was a pretty cool thing actually. You know, it was one of those few times that I have missed a save and been happier about it. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Because like I said, I was like,
It's a cool concept.
it did.
I like it.
It shifted my character enough to make it a little more interesting. Made him a little more interesting. Instead of being, yeah.
That is an interesting concept though. To see what it would be like if you went back in time and did something different.
Fuck the time stream.
Yep.
Go back 40 years and stop Grimbold from being attacked by hags and sending him on a path for the rest of his life.
Of revenge.
Yeah.
But then you guys would be dead.
Yeah, we probably would be.
Probably. No,
or at the very
Thrice over.
or the very least, you'd be totally, broke because
We'd probably still be training to be rat catchers.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing. You never would have had to become rat catchers because you never would have been looking for the hags.
Is that why we were down there?
Yeah, we were looking for hags.
Yeah.
Which Grim knew that's what we were doing.
It was when you were looking for the missing children.
Yeah.
or you may have
True.
found the hags and it may not have gone so well.
Yeah.
It's
Still would have
probably
gone away.
Going well. Oh, hey, listen. I did want to mention. Unfortunately, this friend of ours passed about a month or six weeks ago. But
Yeah.
yesterday was his memorial, and Jason Sweeney, who is a friend to some of us, who was in my gaming group with Ed Rohn, who used to be on Tavern Knights. I'd known Sweeney from like kind of around the way. I'd known him because just from cons and festival and Theater Bazaar and stuff like that. But I didn't know him super well. And then I got a chance to I showed up at Ed's game to be part of his game, and I was like, hey, holy shit, how you doing? And I got to know Sweeney a little bit better, and he was a good guy. And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer. He succumbed, lost his battle, and he's in Valhalla now because he lost his battle. But it was a very nice memorial. It just was a kind of an outdoor barbecue at Stony Creek Park, and 26 mile. So, Jesus Christ!
It's
And
literally around the corner from where Pete and I grew up,
sure.
like
And,
a mile away.
But it was really very nice, beautiful day. It wasn't too
Yeah,
hot.
couldn't have asked for a nicer day.
The wind was nice breeze, and we got to kind of pay tribute to the guy. And I just wanted to mention him because he was an avid gamer and a great and a good one too. He was a really good he was a great D&D player. And
Yeah, I never actually played with him. I knew him from the convention circuit, particularly the pagan convention convocation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was definitely a pagan dude.
yeah, I hung out with him quite a bit outside of
Same.
that too, but going
Yeah.
over to his
Yeah,
him
very
and,
good guy.
when him and Lindsay were together,
So-
went over to their place a lot for meetings and dinners and just hanging out. So
sorry to hear that, you guys.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yeah.
Well, let's at least.
Yeah, there's a good drink to
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Sweeney.
to Sweeney.
To Jay Sweeney.
So one of the things that I'm seeing, and they're pushing this so fucking hard right now, is D&D Beyond is really pushing Spelljammer. I was never a Spelljammer guy. I still don't think I would ever run a Spelljammer campaign. It's just not my thing.
What is Spelljammer?
It's magical space travel.
Yes.
It was a way to connect all the worlds through magical flying ships
Yep.
that
Yeah.
would fly through the ether or whatever they call it.
Phlogiston.
They-
if I remember
they-
Yeah,
correctly.
that's what
They fly through the is it the astral sea that they sail on?
Now I think it is the astral sea.
Yeah, now
But originally, what it was is that the different D&D worlds, where they're basically
The prime
universes.
material planes.
The prime material, they're prime material planes. They're universes essentially, were separated by crystal spheres. They were in what was called crystal spheres that floated in a sea of phlogiston, and you would
Yeah.
and
In a
you would
sea of what?
phlogiston.
phlogiston.
Yes, it is that silly sounding.
Yeah,
Well, just
and it was
Sounds kind of dirty.
It sounds dirty.
Stop
He-
smiling, Renee.
It sounds like phlegm, snot.
Yeah,
and that was about the
PHL.
consistency too.
Yeah, it was
Gross.
PHL phlogiston. I was
Yeah,
PHLIG.
PHLA Justum.
Yeah, something. And so, conceivably, you could leave. You could go into this magic spaceship. You could go out, and eventually, you could exit the crystal sphere. You would, which was then eventually, like I said, you'd sail through the phlogiston sea, and you could go to another crystal sphere, and you could go from Forgotten Realms to Krynn, or to you know,
Greyhawk.
Earth
Greyhawk,
or Greyhawk or whatever, you know, or Dark Sun or whatever you wanted. Or you could create, you could create a homebrew, and you could go to some place, that's where somebody from Krynn gets to your homebrew world. Now, I believe they have since changed it. Now it is basically the astral sea, and there are different ways to get to different. And instead of going from different dimensions, you're actually just going through the astral sea to different worlds, I think.
So it used to be like the universe in the cat pendant in MIB, going from one marble to a different marble.
Yeah, essentially,
Yes.
I think basically what it is the astral sea allows you to travel essentially faster than light. I think it's kind of like going to warp speed. and that's what going to the going.
Well,
to
it's
the
more like
astral sea.
wormholes. It's things aren't
Yeah.
aren't as the distance isn't as far.
Yeah.
In
Well,
the
they actually
astral sea.
and they actually say too in the astral sea, you don't age, you don't need to eat, you don't need to drink. So that's why the astral elves in that you encounter in spelljamming are so fucking weird, because or they're very alien because they've spent thousands of years in the astral sea, and like I said, they don't age, they don't need to eat, drink, nothing. So you're just stop. I saw a short kind of blurb online about it earlier today, actually.
Yeah, the concept is kind of wild. There's also a lot of races that actually came out of that, or that became really big in that area, like the Githyanki and the Githzeri. They're actually astral sea conquerors, really.
Right.
The mind flayers are actually big time out there. That's actually the mind flayers come from some unknown world, actually, supposedly, and sailed across the astral sea to get to all the different prime material planes.
Yep.
Oh, what the fuck, dog?
That's why they're so alien.
Right. I mean, they're supposed to be aliens.
Mhm.
Essentially, they came from out there.
Is it
They were
like for like as you were talking about like kind of like the universe, like is it set up like where it's like one world? Like Greyhawk is like essentially like one world, but like a planet. But if you're talking about universes in other dimensions, is there more to it than just that one world?
So what it is there's all the way that they do the planes in D&D is there's the outer planes and then the prime material plane.
correct.
So the prime material plane is made up of all of the different worlds, which are basically their own universes,
Mm-hmm.
connected by the astral sea.
Okay.
And then the astral sea also connects them to the outer planes, which are the 7 heavens, the 9 hells, the 666 layers of the abyss, nirvana, limbo. There's a whole slew of them.
Okay.
And that's actually where like Mordenkainen has spent a lot of time. He's a planeswalker. He actually goes out and travels all those other planes. The elemental planes are inside of those, actually. I believe they're the inner planes. So you've got the 4 prime elemental planes, and then you've got the ones that are in between them because they're all connected. So you actually have like between the plane of fire and earth is the plane of magma.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Between fire and air is the plane of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, the demi-planes of
Yeah.
element.
Yep.
The demi-planes of elemental.
Yeah, the elemental
something?
demiplanes.
Yeah, that's it. Now, one of the cool things is that it's weird because they got away from spelljamming for a while, and they introduced the city of Sigil, which was from what was it?
Planescape?
Planescape. Thank you.
Mm.
Yes, thank you, Bob. Planescape was like the city of Sigil, which sits like as a gateway to the various.
Like actual sigil, not sigil?
I believe it is actually supposed to be pronounced Sigil, because somebody had brought that up.
It's like Sigil.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
It's a
it was one of the
Terrible
jokes.
sounding word.
Well, it was one of the jokes because Matt Mercer would pronounce sigil as sigil for
Yeah.
a long time.
Because if
and people were
you
like,
just read it
right,
and you never heard how it's pronounced, like you can absolutely extrapolate that it would be sigil.
that was his-
you
that
type
was
in
his-
Planescape Sigil, and the first thing that comes up on the list is pronunciation.
Yeah.
Those who know more about Planescape, the D&D campaign setting, will tell you if you pronounce the city name as Sigil, will probably make no friends and maybe even have a very short life there. The city is properly pronounced Sigil, with the first syllable sounding like the beginning of cigar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's and it was a really cool setting. I mean, a lot of people, because you've got to encounter, it's a city where you can, see celestials and infernal creatures walking side by side, or at least walking across the street from each other. You could see elemental characters, and it was a really neat place and a very different place to have Dungeons and Dragons, because you very much were dealing with other dimensional creatures.
So,
opposed to,
Chris Perkins tweeted out about this subject, saying, "I say sigil with a hard G because that's the correct pronunciation, which, by and by, has the glorious side effect of making my dear friend Matthew Mercer feel better."
That's funny. I remember watching that episode of Critical Role, and he kept saying sigil, and I'm like,
Yep.
is nobody gonna correct him?
Well,
Let me
even
see
the
that.
players were like, you see them kind of like talking, you're like, what is he talking about?
Right, yeah. And he
But-
just kept saying it. And
So-
I'm like, why?
That's the thing. That's when you learn to pronounce a word from reading it rather than hearing it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where those types of things come from. My ex, Kelly, she did it all the time. She would mispronounce words all the time because she learned them by reading, not by hearing. Because she didn't watch TV; she read books.
Right, yeah. Like,
And
what?
not knowing like where certain words come from and how like you're supposed to put accents on things. Like it's if you look at the word sigil, you can absolutely see how it would be pronounced sigil if you
Yep,
didn't
sure.
know where that word came from.
Absolutely. What, Chris? Can you think of something that she pronounced
Not off the top of
incorrectly
my
right
head,
now?
I know Appalachians usually is a common one as well.
but I know
Instead of Appalachian, it's Appalachian.
Oh, as in the person, somebody from the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Well, we had
Appalachian,
a guy in one of our previous games that it was always chasm.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
said chasm.
You come and find a chasm.
Yep.
You can see where that comes from.
Well, is it Kentucky that pronounces Lafayette weird? Where were we? Were we in
Look,
Tennessee?
we're Michiganders. We can't really judge. I mean, we've got a lot of weird
Well-
sounding words.
But
Well, it's a
we at
French-
least
it's a
pronounce
French
things
name.
other
Yeah.
than Detroit, we pronounce a lot of the French words the right way.
Yeah,
Correct.
with the exception of Detroit.
Yeah.
But Lafayette is a common French name.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was Lafayette.
can't-
or,
I can't remember it was Tennessee or
there
Kentucky.
was one that they pronounced it like way. It was a French word and it was pronounced way wrong, and I'm like, that hurts my ears to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lafayette. Oh, Jesus Christ, Trevor. I'm pretty sure it's Lafayette.
I can't
and
imagine how it would be
I
pronounced.
I don't think it was Lafayette. I think it was something else.
I
But-
thought it was. They pronounced it like Lafiti. It was something
Lafiti?
atrocious. Like we didn't get it until we saw it written out.
Yep.
And we're like, oh, Lafayette. That's how you're supposed to pronounce
Lafiti.
that.
Lafiti.
It was
What
something
kind of a-
stupid.
My
What
wife and
kind
I
of
have one major debate off of a Harry Potter character and how.
Dobby versus Dobby.
Yes.
Yep.
It's Dobby.
It's Dobby.
Dobby.
It's Dobby.
It's
Dobby.
Dobby.
I like Dobby.
Watch the fucking movie. It's Dobby.
What's the fucking movie?
Yeah.
It's Dobby.
He actually
I mean,
pronounces
she-
it more as Dubby, like
she
in the
pronounced
movie. But
J.K. Rowling got fucking approval, man. I mean, it's Dobby. If she would have adjusted, she would have told them.
before the
the
second
movies.
movie, and when you binge or when you watch the first one, you binge the first 4 books. Well, I started pronouncing it as Dobby, and that.
I don't get how you get that because
Yeah.
his name is spelled where it wouldn't be a long O.
Right.
It's just how
It's
I.
You can make that same
D-O-B-B-Y.
argument. You can
That's
make that
just
same
how I
argument
just-
about our last name.
Yeah.
It's Colette, not Collet, and there's no E to make it a long O.
But everyone
Holy
pronounce-
shit. Holy shit.
I personally think it's Dobby. But
It is.
yes,
It's Dobby. There's a double B. There's a double consonant there, which makes it
Just-
a
But, yeah, that's just
a
how I
soft
always.
O.
That's just how I
Still,
always
like-
read it.
again, you can make that same argument with our last name, but it's pronounced with a long O.
Look, there's a lot of shit that happens like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but your
can't
name's
tell you-
German, so it doesn't matter.
No, that's true.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like doing something in Irish. They break the rules.
Exactly.
But yeah, they just
And-
flat out cheat at Scrabble.
And I mean, how many times have we read, a name or something in a fantasy novel, particularly, and
Oh yeah.
pronounced it a way, and then somebody hears you pronounce it that particular way, and they're like, "What are you fucking
Trying
stupid?"
to- Trying to
Chris
figure out
Jordan.
how to pronounce
Chris Jordan.
Hermione's name
Oh yeah, Hermione
Oh.
was rough.
Yeah.
until actually hearing it.
Mhm.
I believe the origins are Greek, so that's why it's kind
Yeah.
of like Persephone, Hermione.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's even at one point before the movies, they in the fourth book, she actually like grammatically
how it's
like,
pronounced.
Actually says it for like a foreigner to
Yeah.
be able to
So-
say it correctly. So that was like the first time that
Yeah.
she
For
actually, like,
Victor Crumb.
yeah.
So did you pronounce the groundskeeper's name as Hagrid too?
I did always pronounce the other house elf as Kretcher rather than Creature because of the way
Oh
that
my
it's spelled.
god! What the actual fuck, man? I weep for you.
That one I did after I did hear that one, and I realized, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. I
so
get
so
that.
then I do correct it when I read back on it, but I still stand by Dobie as the way that it sounds correct in my head. But it just goes to show you like those like reading
Yeah.
things and
So
versus
you have a
like,
couple
hearing.
of dogies?
Hello, little doggy. My brain, you've hurt my brain. You guys.
Don't
So,
tell Stella.
Actually, yeah. Tell Stella it's Dobie.
I'm sure she heard me yelling. I'm sure she heard me yell.
So one of the things also I wanted to bring up because I mentioned earlier that Pete, Rich, and I actually played Magic over the weekend. All the cousins were together, and at one point, I don't know if you were. I think you weren't in the room, Pete. You were out, but Rich's youngest came in, and she saw us sitting there, and she was talking with us about Magic, the game, and she said,
I love how you had to be
"Dad,
specific.
will you teach me how to play Magic?" And
Chris, did it warm your cockles?
it warmed my heart because he's like, well, yeah, not tonight, but maybe tomorrow when we get home, we can sit down and I can start teaching you how to play. And I'm like, that had to be, as Renee put it, a proud papa moment.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Proud
and-
nerd papa moment.
Well, yeah, and I told him, because when she left the room, I told him I'm like, tomorrow Magic, next D&D.
For sure.
Well, I know my kids have been asking to like play D&D, and they're like obviously have a big interest in me talking about it, watching me play a little bit. They've been interested in the podcast. I'm like, I wouldn't recommend watching my podcast.
There's a lot of Russ
wait.
swears a lot, guys. You can't.
Uncle Chris swears a lot.
Wait,
Dante
I
Renee
think you-
swears a lot.
I think you need to show them how excited their dad can get when he rolls a natural.
When he rolls
20
a
in
nat
clutch
20
moment.
in the clutch.
Okay, here, you get to watch this one scene.
Yes. But
That's all you
I
get.
make an effort not to swear, but the rest of you, like, it's like where I'm saying, no, you can't watch it because of that. So, because everyone else, where I'm good, everyone else is really bad
We're all
when it
filthy.
comes to that. But, I have done a couple, like, kids D&D sessions with them for, like, that they, like, actually, Wizards of the
Didn't you
Coast
do a
actually
Harry
has,
Potter
like, two-
one?
And I actually created that Harry Potter one for Halloween during the pandemic, which
That's
was
pretty
a lot of fun.
awesome.
And they've been actually interested in like doing it. It's like, well, I was waiting for them to get a little bit older. 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, they were first starting to get interested in it. And
So
like, I thought that was a little bit on the younger side. So now that they're getting like,
Oh, just grab the cats.
yeah, so Chris and I actually picked this up a couple years ago. We were hoping to play a session up north during the family vacation. But it was the year that Chris ended up like rolling his ankle and it couldn't make it, and I ended up leaving early. But that whole thing. But we wanted to introduce Cats and Catacombs.
Oh, I think you talked about that before.
Yeah.
Well, that was specifically because the girls were going to be up there.
Yeah.
The boys weren't that week. I think it was
Not yet,
everyone
but-
was going to be on opposite weeks because we got that instead of the dogs. Because if it was the boys,
Yeah.
we would have got the dogs. The
Well, also the cats look cooler to
Dungeons and
paint.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
like
cool.
it's it's essentially a D&D campaign but with cats.
Yeah, I've seen
Like
the
you
book set.
have Molly,
I saw the book at the store.
the Leco rogue, and like they're all different breeds of cats, and they do different things, and it's great.
Yeah, they actually have like cards I think inside that are like their stat cards and everything. And
Oh, that's cool.
Like Whisper the Sphinx Sorcerer, Cleo
Oh,
the
that's so
Bengal
cute.
Ranger.
That's so cute.
It looks
That's
awesome,
adorable.
isn't it?
But
And honestly, like the minis are cool as fuck.
They're
and
actually
really
done
well
really
made.
well.
Yeah, they're like really awesome.
I have to look at the dog one and see if
Yeah.
on Amazon and maybe go for it. But I was actually thinking about like now that they're getting my oldest is approaching 13, my youngest is 10.
Oh,
and
God.
they're starting. Yeah, right. They're starting now where I think that they can be able to do it, and I was thinking of maybe even running
Oh.
like the Fandelver adventure.
So-
at least I'm familiar enough with that, and I think that you have the like the physical like book copy. I may be able to try and run that for them and kind of keep it like pretty basic to where they should be able to handle it. I
You
would
could
think.
also
guys
try-
started-
you
You
could
guys
also-
started around that age, right?
I started at
Yes.
9.
I was
Yeah.
8. Yeah, I was 8. But at that age, we weren't really sticking to the rules very much,
They were a
it
lot
was-
simpler rules too. I mean, I was playing Red
Yeah.
Book back then.
Yeah, exactly. And then even then, we were it was more about telling a fun story and attacking the bad guys and stuff like that. But we were like 9, 8, 9, 10. My best friend's dad would run a game for us every once in a while. Then we might
So-
stick to the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
more.
So just so you know, the miniatures are done by Steamforged, which are the same people who did the Critical Role minis,
Oh, cool.
and they are available on Amazon. There's actually more sets now.
Awesome.
For $106, well, $107, you can get the Animal Adventure Bundle Starter Set, plus Dog Miniatures Volume 1 through 3 and Cat Miniatures Volume 1 and 2. So there are 2 sets of cat miniatures and 3 sets of dog miniatures, and there's a whole book on animal adventures.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it.
I'm down.
Exactly
I'll
what
play.
you talked about.
So
Have a whole nother separate channel for nerds with alcohol, but instead like maybe nerds with juice instead.
Nerds, man. See, I think, Pete, you could also run like maybe a Strixhaven game too with them, because that's about a magical school.
yeah, it is.
Oh, they would like that, yeah.
It can be tweaked to be very Harry Potter-ish, but I think that's kind of what they were planning when they kind of built it, to kind of try and pull in that like people that love Harry Potter, like, hey, let's make kind of Harry Potter-ish, D&D-ish kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Harry Potter in my D&D. You got your D&D in my Harry Potter. Two great tastes that go great together. So, it's I've looked through the book. It's kind of cool, It's pretty cool. There's like 4 different houses,
I
and
want that.
there's some pretty cool shit. So I would say give that one a shot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
So the other thing that I just did was I actually splurged and got myself got us really some Dwarven Forge.
I watched your unboxing video.
Yes, and I just put an
yeah.
unboxing video up, and it's actually already getting a lot more views. But I think it's because it's only 15 minutes long,
Yeah.
and
I
so
think so you're right.
I watched most of it too. I had it up on here before the show.
we also got a new subscriber on YouTube today.
YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're up to 10 subscribers. Woohoo!
Woo!
So sad. So sad.
Why? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
we got double
that
digits
is
now,
true.
man. It's just gonna snowball now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we get a decent amount of downloads. And how is it? Why is it we don't have more like actual subscribers? So I don't know. Or we
People
get
like listening to us in the car when they're going to and from work. It makes the workday better.
yeah, I guess so.
Helps them survive.
Yeah.
That's usually how I listen to Critical Role. Is I just download it on my phone and I'm listening when I'm going to and from like Milford, which is about an hour away, and there and back. It's still only I get through half an episode, but that's usually the time that I'm actually catching up and listening to it.
There is a lot. I mean, that as much as I love Critical Role, man, there is a lot, dude. It's
But what I will say is, I like them a lot. They're really cool. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to play with. They look amazing.
Yeah,
They
you were
are
talking
really
about
pretty.
it, that are they more like injection molded? You think, or rather than 3D printed?
They're definitely a different material. They're what they call dwarvenite. So I don't know what it
Yeah.
actually is.
I've heard them talk about it. Yeah.
It looks like it's injection molded to me.
Yeah, but the thing is that like so a couple things that I say in the video that I didn't realize beforehand that I put into the comments is, one, I realized how the door works. I figured that out. And then I also didn't think that because they were two-sided, the ledge pieces, the ones that can make the holes and things like that, I thought that those did not have magnets because they were double-sided. They actually have magnets inside.
Oh.
Okay.
So you can still attach them to the boards. And I was actually looking today to see if those plates, because they're supposed to be coming back at the beginning of August. So I looked today, and they actually have a lot of their stuff back. Not the plates that I'm looking for, but they do have a lot of their stuff back. So I'm hoping that soon they'll have some of those back, and I'll be able to order the metal trays, the battle trays is what they call them, and I can actually build the boards on there, the things on there, so that then I can just put that on the piece of wood that I bring over, and it'll be cool. The other thing I thought about doing was doing what our friend Jake had done with his thing, and that's actually getting the metallic paint, the paint that actually has like metal flakes in it.
Yeah.
And you actually paint that on, and the entire thing, like that entire wooden thing, would then become a magnetic plate.
That is really fucking badass. By the way.
It is, except that it's there because of having the metal in it. It's very rough. There's no way to get a flat surface on it.
Oh.
It has a lot of texture to it. It's very much like a stucco wall.
Makes sense.
But it's cool because he just uses paper maps, but he can actually like hold down the edges with magnets. So
It's the things that they've come up with.
Yep.
To play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, and I've already figured out a room build that I'm going to use in the future with the Dwarven Forge stuff.
No, but do you feel like it's worth the cost on that?
Yes.
Because you did mention, like between you and me and like what we've been able to 3D print, while the quality may not be as good, you're printing it on pennies on the dollar compared to Dwarven Forge. And obviously, the big thing would be, as you pointed out, the time. I mean, one wall and a floor or a corner takes 4 hours of print time at best, and you're getting subpar quality compared to that.
Granted, so that doesn't take any extra time though, or it doesn't take any. It takes a little bit. It takes time, but it's not like you have to sit there and watch it while it's doing it.
No.
What really takes the time is then taking those and priming them, painting them, and to the level that these are painted. Excuse me, for a lot of their stuff. I mean, do I think it's worth it? If you have the money, yes.
If you have the means, we do recommend you.
If you have the means, then yes, it's definitely worth it. Mostly because they do look fantastic, and some of them, I was looking at some that they had today. And I'm like, oh, I'm not spending another like $200, but they had like a whole like lava cavern one that you can then get. They have light plates that go underneath them and actually light it up, and all the lava sections are actually done with their like translucent stuff, so it actually lets the light through, so it actually lights up the lava and makes it glow.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So you see all these little lava streams and little cracks and stuff like that are all glowing on this. So I mean, yeah, there's some really sweet stuff that you can do, and I've seen some stuff online. I haven't found it on their site really, but there's some where you can just buy the plates and get like the outline ones. So they're basically, it's like you're just building cavern walls, and you can just make them whatever shape you want, and you've got the grid on the battle board, and you're just moving your figs around there, and you've got the outside, and you can put some other pieces inside to snazz it up or whatever. But they've got other things to like raise things up a little bit, so it actually looks like wall on the outside. So like they got little risers, so you can just put it underneath some of the other ones to raise them up, so you can have different levels in your stuff. So it's very cool. If I had unlimited money, I'd buy the hell out of them. But
I tried the lottery over the weekend. Didn't win. So
yeah, did anybody win?
Sorry.
We didn't even buy a ticket.
Yeah.
When it reaches that, I do it. I throw out $10 for fun.
We usually do as well. We just never got around to it.
Yeah.
I actually have never bought a lottery ticket. I don't even know how. So.
Well, it hits. I mean, that's the thing. I've heard people say that it's like, do you think your chances increase when the money gets that much higher? You know,
No.
I do the same thing.
Absolutely not. But
if it gets
when
a certain point.
But when it's like reaching this level, it's like, you know what? All right, I'll do it. I've probably done it like 5 times.
It only takes one ticket
life.
to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done it 5 times in my life, and I've only when it's been like these type of levels.
In fact,
usually if it gets over $1 billion, I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
Well, it's pretty rare that
That's
pretty rare that it gets over a billion. But from what I understand, the winner of this current that current jackpot, it was one winner. It was one person.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you take the lump sum, it was like
Indiana.
630 some million or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who was like, "Man, that's a big chunk the government takes out." But you want it that much? Take it.
Take it and leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my god.
And also,
$640 million.
you ultimately pay less by taking a lump sum than stretching it out.
Yep.
You would ultimately pay more in income taxes if you were to stretch it out.
Correct.
Yeah.
The big thing is if you stretch it out over 20 years, then you've got 20 years that you have income, and and you can just.
Or you could get all of your money up front, get more money, and be smart.
No,
Well, yeah,
but
but
most are not smart.
But that's the thing. Most people aren't smart, and most lottery winners are bankrupt within 5 years.
Yes,
yeah, that's true. Particularly if they take the lump sum. If you take it in installments over 20 years, you have to plan a little bit better. So that's why if you win $640 million, you immediately hire a money manager.
Yep.
You hire somebody whose job is it to make sure that they don't, that you're rich for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that person is not a crook too, because they have access to all your shit.
Yeah, exactly. So you want a fiduciary?
Yeah, a fiduciary. I want a fiduciary.
So anyway, but that's off the topic of D&D though. But yes, I do like the Dwarven Forge. I think that they are very cool, and I think when you guys come over this week, this Friday, I'll have some set up, and so you guys can see them. I think I like the feel. I like the way that they're set up. I really do like them a lot. And will I buy more? Probably, yeah. Will it be a slow process of accumulating them? Probably, yeah.
As they should be. They're not cheap.
No. I mean, I'm sure that Chris, you
unless we have our first sponsor.
right. Well, we're working on that. I'm working on it. I got a connection.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work.
Well, and that's the
out.
thing. So that's one of the other things is I want to compare it. So now that I've compared it to like what Pete and I can print, I want to compare it to other companies.
Right. There's a place locally called Dungeon Artifacts that also 3D prints. Now I know for sure that they 3D print everything, so it should be interesting to see like what they print and how their prints look. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping we can
All
get
right.
some of that shit.
I'm really sorry, but I have to log off because I work tomorrow.
Yeah, we should
And it
probably
is
wrap
past my
things up
bedtime.
anyway.
Yeah,
It's,
We
I think
should,
so.
wrap things up.
So
anyway.
good night, everyone.
Good night.
good night. We'll see you on Friday.
Yep.
All right. So
Now that she's gone.
I was gonna do that, but she'd hear me.
Right.
Now I think I'm curious to see how other places do it too, because I know that there are other companies that are starting up along with Dwarven Forge. Do I think Dwarven Forge is probably the best right now? There's a good chance, but I haven't seen anything from like Dungeon Artifacts. I would be very, very interested in seeing what they do. Looks like they have a nearly funded Kickstarter right now for Roots of Revenge: The Fatal Forest. Looks like some stuff I could have used when you guys were fighting the hags. Some big nasty looking trees with mouths.
Like the tree that their mystic tree lair, right?
Yeah.
That they had.
Well, they had that. Yeah, they did have that one tree that I had thrown in there. So this Friday, 7:30 Eastern time, right here on Twitch. We will pick up where we left off.
Can't wait. Looking real forward to it. After that last battle, I think that we're all itching to see what happens next.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
And Russ, we were even talking on Saturday, since Rich won't be able to be playing Octavian, that we're all looking forward to if you have like a
Catchphrase.
Oh, we've discussed it.
retaliatory catchphrase.
Bob and I
Octavian.
have discussed a new catchphrase. Yes.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Rich is so giddy and excited to hear what it is. He really is, actually. He was mentioning it on Saturday. He's actually really excited to see what it's going to be. Because just because of the whole core blimey for when he plays Karis.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this Friday. I always look forward to our games because I have so much fun. But yeah, so
All right.
I will see you guys there. Thanks a lot for coming out and hanging out with me tonight.
Yep.
And talking some D&D. Thanks to anyone that's watching, anyone that's watching this afterwards. You can check us out here on Twitch. Russ and I will be back tomorrow for
Yep.
our Nerds with Alcohol show.
Yep,
Lots to talk about.
We will be talking. I'll be discussing a lot. Probably would be a major point of discussion. The passing of the late great Nichelle Nichols. So
Yes,
please
that
tune
will
in
definitely be
to
something we talk about.
To talk about that goddess that left us. So.
And then we'll be back here for this for Tavern Knights on Friday at 7:30, and then then Russ and I will be back again next week, and then we'll be back for this 2 weeks from tonight to talk about what happens this coming Friday. So
Absolutely.
so I think that's gonna about do it. Thanks again, guys. Everybody have a good night. Thanks again for coming out. See ya.
Good night.
Yes.